So now we're going to hand over to you to discuss the same question. And in a moment, Deek is going to put you in breakout groups to talk about what makes in-sessional for you. Obviously, you can talk about anything you'd like in there, but we have a few ideas to kind of guide the discussion. So you might want to talk about different aspects that contribute to your provision setup. So that could possibly be institutional strategy, opportunities, or constraints within your context. EAP pedagogy, the student cohort you're working with, as well as your job role and workload, because that can also vary depending upon your setup. Differences in-sessional in-sessional and other forms of EAP might be something to talk about. In-sessional pedagogies and practices, and then also the relationship between EAP and in-sessional practice. So those are a few things to maybe guide the discussion. We are going to give you about 20 minutes in the breakout groups to discuss, but if you could also please contribute to the Padlet, that would be a nice kind of resource to see what everybody said. So I see that Deborah's put it in the chat there. So if you could please just click on that link once you get into your breakout groups, you'll be able to see these different points on the Padlet. And then if you could please add some ideas to there as well. So I'm going to hand over to Deek now to put you into breakout groups.
Thanks indeed, Jess. So we'll aim for breakout rooms of about 5 people, if that's all right. I'll just assign those automatically to save time, and then we'll of course pause the recording as well for this section and see everyone back in about 20 minutes or so. That's okay. So good luck, enjoy. I think
everybody's coming back.
Is that over to yourself?
Okay, yes. All right. So looks like everybody's back from the breakout groups. We hope you enjoyed your discussions, and thank you for the contributions to the Padlet. So just as a quick kind of activity, the kind of same thing that we did as a committee with the word cloud, if you could also now click on this link, we'll share the link in the chat, or scan the QR code, or just go to slido.com and enter in this code. And just if you can now tell us what makes in-sessional for you, and then it's going to hopefully appear as a word cloud. That's the hope. So yes, if you could please just either scan the QR code or click on the link, and then we'll see a word cloud, let's hope, appear in front of us. So. Very interesting. Bespoke and embedded are definitely coming through very strongly. Yeah, nice. Okay, so maybe about 1 more minute just to complete the word cloud. Okay, I think I'm gonna, we've had 41 people contribute. If, yeah, we still have more ideas coming through, which is great. Okay, I think just for time purposes, I think I'm gonna have to close the poll, but that looks really interesting. So I'll quickly just close that. And yeah, so we see that, you know, quite a lot of collaboration coming through, embedded, collaborative, subject specific support, bespoke. But then also some other aspects of the challenges within sessional, and coming up, obviously flexibility and that sort of thing coming through. So not unlike the one that we came up with as our committee, right? So I think it shows this kind of shared practice that we all have as in-sessional practitioners. Okay, I don't know if anybody else wants to say anything about this before we move on.
I just think tools, not rules is fantastic. Really, really, I don't know who wrote that, but that is it, isn't it? Isn't that great?
Yeah.
I would just like to add to that as well. I've already made a note and see if I can find a reference for it and then take it further. I thought that was brilliant.
So, tools, not rules.
Who is it and can we steal it?
That's very good. Definitely. Yeah.
Hi, yeah, that's one of our favourite expressions here at Bristol. So our centre manager, Maxine, drummed it into me when I was a tutor, tools, not rules. So we're discourse analysts and we help students develop the ability to unpack texts, criteria, etc. We don't tell them the exact way of doing it because we're not the discipline experts.
Are we allowed to borrow the expression?
Yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant.
Maxine should be very happy.
It's great. Yeah. Excellent. All right. So thanks very much to everybody who contributed to that. And we'll try to see whether we can save this and include it in what we provide after this event. But now I'm going to hand over to Neil to talk about the next part of the next breakout group we're gonna be doing now.
Thanks, Jessica. Yeah, so the first question was what makes in-sessional, and we've got another question for you, which for the breakout room discussion again, and this is to do with the nature, purpose, and direction of this SIG. So it's a kind of a selfish question in a way, because we want to know from you what you want to see from us going forward, and we've already planned out some upcoming events. So you may have come across the new book by Neil Tibbets and Tim Chapman, which is called A Guide to In-Sessional for English for Academic Purposes, which I have skimmed and scanned through. I can't say I've read it cover to cover yet, but it is, to me, it seems like an excellent book. So I'll give them a plug here. Do buy one for yourself or for your institution. We've got a joint event coming up with Academic Literacy SIG and a joint event coming up with STEM SIG. So these are our planned events coming up, but we also have obviously spaces ahead for other events, and we'd like to ask you what you would like from the BALEAP In-Sessional SIG. What other themes would you like to see represented? So it could be anything from the pedagogical side, materials development, or how support works in a particular situation, to strategic in-sessional, or even things like marketing. So it's up to you what you want to suggest. So we're going to ask you again to write your comments in the Padlet, and so that's going to come up in a second. The breakout rooms, I'll hand you over to Deek for the breakout rooms.
Thanks, Neil. Yes, we'll just recreate those. So it won't be the same individuals, but it should be around 5 or 6 people in your breakout room. So this is coming through now.